Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. Help support my channel. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers pretty much as soon as possible. So then I go live streaming because YouTube policy, they won't let me go live until I have 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to all the folks out there that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet, please take this moment now with helping me. Click subscribe. Next, click the bell. And next, click all. This helps you receive a notification when I post my next videos. Plus, click the thumbs up button and every time you watch my videos. If you got value from this video, if this was helpful, then please consider sharing a small monetary donation to my channel by going below and clicking on either my Patreon or PayPal links. If you join my Patreon page, then you'll get early access to these videos 24 hours before they're posted on the YouTube and lots more. If you prefer just leaving a small tip, click on PayPal. Either way, then you get that warm sense of satisfaction years down the line knowing that you helped me become a successful YouTuber. Sunday, March 13th, 11:57 a.m. New York time. Commodities. We'll look at the commodities that are listed in the futures market. If the futures market is one of the exchanges in the United States, what other exchanges are there? Well, there's the stock exchanges. There's several stock exchanges. There's option exchanges. There's several of those. And there's the futures exchange. And the futures exchange offers commodities on it. Got it? Now, commodities, there are sectors of commodities. The industrial metals, that'd be your copper, your aluminum, and several other ones. You also have the sector of energy, crude oil, heating oil, natural gas. Then there's the precious metals. Do you have any of them? Platinum, silver, gold, those kind. As well as the sector for grains, corn, soybeans, wheat. There's soft also. What are those? Cocoa, coffee, sugar, cotton. As well as your commodity sector for livestock, hog, feeder cattle. Yeah, so that's just some of it I want to go over. There's also a correlation of commodities and currencies. There are some nations, the majority of their income or a big percentage of their income is from commodities. Example, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. They're rich in commodities. What kind of commodities? Is it just them sheep in New Zealand that get wool? No. Those countries are rich in commodities in the metal and energy sector. What part of the energy sector are they rich in? Well, Australia, New Zealand, rich in the coal energy. Yeah, coal, dirty fossil fuel. And Canada, rich in tar sands oil, crude oil, tar sands, dirty fossil fuel. As well as those countries are rich in metals like gold and silver. And then there's correlation, like I mentioned, they have with their currencies. So when commodities get really expensive, their nation's currencies get higher. Example, crude oil starts going up higher, Canadian dollar gets higher. Same with, expect underlining Australia, New Zealand, and same with the commodities. So I'll give you an example. In the United States, Central America and South America, well, let's just say North America, Central America, South America, less than 100 days away from the Atlantic Ocean hurricane season. Yep, there's a lot of oil platforms in the South Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico areas. Hurricanes come near those areas, they shut down. They have to stop temporarily production, but the demand for those energy sources of crude oil do not go down. Nope. What happens is the production in another country goes higher, such as Canada. There'll be more demand for crude oil from their country, those tar sands. So as there's more demand from those countries, from Canada, say, their currency value is going higher. Yep, so there's a correlation. You don't have to actually trade the underlying commodity. You could trade those currencies or vice versa. Just give you an insight. Let's start looking here at the energy category. Look here at the first, crude oil. Yep, crude oil. So this is a weekly candle. Look at that. Huge trading range, all-time high for the year. For the year, crude oil went high and sold off near, much closer to the low of the week. Yep, below midpoints. So there is another reason this goes up, not just the demand for the underlying product. What's the underlying product? Well, for crude oil, the underlying product is just that, crude oil. But we're looking at a derivative. What a derivative? Futures are derivatives. And you can trade these derivatives. Again, there's different derivatives. There's options or derivatives. So when you see this price super high like that, you should understand there's traders that are hedging. There's traders that are speculating. So I would think, I'm going to show you the rationale here, that majority of that trade was speculation. A lot of people trying to make a fast buck, maybe for day trading, swing trading, but they're not hedging. So again, if you think price is going higher, if you're a trader, it doesn't matter. It could be institution trader or retail trader. You're buying the contracts, and if it goes higher, they're making money. First, let's go hedging. If you're the transportation industry, Carnival Cruise Line or Southwest Airline, for example, if they think the price of oil is going to go higher the months ahead, the weeks, months, or years ahead, they might start hedging and buying future contracts. So they're locked in a price. And if the prices go higher, hey, they still are getting that price locked in at a discount. First, at the open market, be higher. Yep, got it. Let's look, excuse me for a minute. I apologize. So another commodity, your grain products, like I mentioned. Well, you have this cereal industry, that nasty garbage cereal. Hope you're not consuming it. That's a manufacturer. And if they think the farm industry is going to have, let's say, a drought, and there's going to be a shortage of those commodity products, such as wheat, well, then that demand is not reducing. The demand's still there, but the price would be higher. So they might lock in a contracts at a future price. And then if that price does go higher, well, they're getting that discount. Got it. And then there's the agricultural farmer that could do that too. If they think price is going to drop real low because there's too much of the product out there and they're going to lose money if they don't hedge, they might buy contracts too. So very diversified who uses these contracts in the futures market. Yep, and you could do that too. Okay, we just saw crude oil. Let's look at another one. No, let's go back to crude oil. Again, this was weekly, but let's include this on a higher time frame. Yep, a higher time frame. Let's take this to the monthly. And let's take it to the max. The max. There we go. Going all the way back to 1983. Crude oil. Each of these is a month. Well, look here. Crude oil is here right now. I'll zoom in. This is crude oil for the month. It closed there, $109. But the all-time high on record is $147. So gas, crude oil is not at the record high yet, nor is the gas station pump at record high. Yep. There's a lot of things that are not being shared with you, so I'm sharing that with you. Got it? Looking here at natural gas, red for the week, but it made a higher high, higher low, closed just around midpoint, but below $5. So natural gas is not at the high of the year, where we just saw crude oil is. Let's look at natural gas on a higher time frame, the monthly. Let's take it all the way to max. And when I say max, sure, these products been available longer than that, but the exchanges didn't have data on them forever since they've been available. So I only have the data from my exchange provided from back in 1995. So again, we're looking here at natural gas, closed at 476, and look at the all-time high, 1565. Yep. And that was when? That was back in the day, 2005. Big difference. Big difference. So there's a lot of people whining and complaining. They don't have skin in the game. Not the same as many others. Yep. So now let's go look at the metals. What I mean skin in the game is if you're the business operator, you are the first at risk, because if you can't afford to buy that product that you need for your consumers, then you may not be in business much longer. You and me as the consumer, we might just shift and stop using that product or service or get it from somewhere else. So we don't have the same kind of skin in the game as those businesses that have employees. So looking here at gold on the weekly, all-time high for the year. And that kind of candlestick is a bearish pin bar. Key word, bearish second pin bar. Let's look at this at a higher time frame. Got a monthly, on a monthly. So here, we are not at all-time high yet. Nope, that was back there 2 years ago, 2020. There's a lot of panic, a lot of people talking things that were at record highs. No, we're not. There's a difference in record high and talking heads talking nonsense. But take this back to the weekly on gold for a moment. So as this price ran up, it has this huge tail on the top. Yep, a lot of people got stuck coming to the game late. So hedging, speculating, they're not always making money. They're wrong. Not necessarily on the direction, because this could continue going higher. Same with crude oil, but the timing. Timing is very important in investing and trading. Why I say that? Because if you're dollar cost average any financial instrument, and if you keep buying, let's say every month, Amazon or Facebook every month, if the stock keeps going lower, 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 well, that's not good, because it doesn't mean it's going higher. You're buying into weakness that hasn't proven itself to sustain that higher price. So you're losing money. Yeah, if it turns around, goes higher, you're better. But if your dollar cost average on a financial instrument that's going higher, 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 you're getting gains faster, and it's going where you need it to. Yep, because there's a lot of underlying stocks that get delisted or brought out, merged like that. So same with commodities. Yep, there's sometimes they make bad decisions on their investments. All right, let's take this to the, did I take it to the monthly yet? Let's just double check. Yep, we did, right? Yep. So let's go to the next. Silver. For the weekly, same thing. All-time high for the year. Tested the midpoint from last year. Interesting. What does that mean? That was a trade signal. Yep. Outstanding. And it rejected it and closed below it. That's nice. There's a trade idea that was set up, and it worked out. If you got the alert, how do you get the alert? Well, you learn how to use your trading platform, because the price action hit that, the alert went off, and the trade opportunity was there on the faster time frame. Let's take this to the higher time frame now, monthly. Take this to the max. There we are. The high was all the way back there. Oof. 1980 for silver. Or those must be old people that were back from that time. And also there. Wow. So looking here now on the monthly, we're at the all-time high for the year, but still below the high last year with silver. And we are below the all-time high from there. Palladium. Look at the weekly. Also sold off. Let's take this to the higher time frame, the monthly. And these metals I'm showing you, hopefully you understand or are aware of their broad usage. So look at palladium. Here's the high, maximum high all the way back there in 2008. And here we are now for the month. We didn't even take out the swing high yet for last year. And let's look at the other important commodity, which often gets underlooked because it's an industrial metal. Copper, all-time high for the year, and already sold off. So past 2 weeks, high volatility. Let's take this to the higher time frame too. So for the record, for history, we're at the all-time high. And for the monthly, that's a bearish pin bar. Again, it's not done yet for the month, but that's what it's forming now. So to inform you about these commodities a little bit better, these commodities I've been showing you, which are metal. Let's go ahead and put them on the weekly. The usage of these commodities. Let me finish setting up the chart and then I'll explain that a little bit more so you could relate to why something may be doing better performing or something that's not as performing as well. Nope, I should have left on monthly, but they're on weekly now. I'm not going back to double work. Don't want to go back on the battlefield twice. Okay. So again, the four commodities in the energies, in the metals: gold, silver, platinum, copper. Well, gold is more of a interest in cosmetic, same with silver for the retail side. But for industrial use, absolutely gold. I recall cell phones have some gold in them. And the copper has huge industrial usage for utilities, let's say for HVAC systems, for heating systems, those water lines. Yep. So there's a huge industrial that uses copper. So copper is an indicator for economies that are doing really good in growth and they're expecting good times ahead. Those businesses that support them start buying the commodity copper often early. Say you got a housing boom starting or a bunch of new homes that need appliances. These industrial manufacturers that make those products start buying copper sooner when it's at a discount, what they consider. Got it? Industrial use. So you can look at the home bills in copper. If you start seeing copper decline, maybe, again, this could be not worldwide, it could be regional in different nations that heat come over. So it could give you a clue regarding the upcoming of potential reversals in certain nations and things. So that was the metals and the energy. Let's go into the agricultural livestock. Here we are looking at corn, inside candle for the month, just shy of all-time high. Let's take it to the monthly. There we go, monthly. All-time high was all the way back there. Yep, that was 2012. And here we are now, all-time high for the year on the right. So corn is not only a feed for animals. Yeah, you might like corn on the cob or corn off the cob. Corn is also a feed for animals. Yep. It's a cheaper feed where those animals should be eating bugs, worms, grass. But again, some agricultural, some livestock want to use corn for feed. Yeah, I understand deer like corn. Got it. So another use for corn is ethanol. Yeah. Past administrations in the United States, these knuckleheads that are on the left and the knuckleheads on the right. And I'll give you, won't give you the year, but anyway, the House Speaker back then was Nancy Pelosi and the president was Bush. And they both parties, and all the knuckleheads, majority of them and those leaders chose to put tariffs on the import of sugarcane, especially we got used to get a lot of it in Brazil. And that made it more expensive sugarcane because sugarcane also was for ethanol. So it helped the United States corn industry, which went into ethanol usage also for a lot of engines. It was a dirty product. I mean, it wasn't the best usage. Yep. So remember, both sides took you down, and a lot of those people are still serving as lobbyists and lawmakers. So there we go, looking at corn. Oh, you get a lot of information here, aren't you? Yep, looking at wheat, all-time high for the year. Wow. Let's go to the monthly. Oops. There we go, wheat. So already, that was the high all the way back here. I already took it out, wheat, record high. Well, that might mean your pizza and your cereal products are getting more expensive and your bread products. You don't need that garbage. Yeah, be better off eating the vegan bread. Is there any vegan bread yet? Interesting. Next, we're looking at soybean. Here's the high for the year, but we're off of that, doing a retracement. Let's look at the monthly. Remember, soy is not just a food product, it's also industrial use. And there's the high back in 2012. We're looking at start targeting for that, yeah. And lumber, oof. Yep. So for the current week, lower low, lower high, big sell-off, interesting. Let's take it to the higher time frame, because last year lumber had I think it was all-time record highs. So what happened? What happened? Why is lumber declining? So again, correlation. United States gets majority of its lumber from Canada. We also get a good portion of it from South America, but the majority of it for construction comes from North America. So again, we buy Canadian lumber. We have to convert our US dollar into Canadian dollar. It helps goose up their currency. Again, correlations. So now we got lumber, record low for the year. Yep, I'm going to zoom in. The record high was earlier. And now we're near the record, we're at the record low for the year. So what happened here? You know, the correlation between this and copper. So was it just speculation that shot this up and then the real industrial use decline? I'm not going to go into detail how to find out all that information, but that's free. Find what happened here in correlation. The point is, when this run up was not sustainable, people were still buying on top. Yep, wrong answer. So again, you might want to consider looking at this and copper, see if there's a correlation between that, but there's certainly a correlation in the currencies and speculation run up. The other correlation is too, if I mentioned, yeah, I did mention regarding the Canadian dollar and the oil platforms, Pacific. All right, let's go to the next. Looking at live cattle for the week, inside candle off the highs. Let's go to the higher time frame. Remember, when red meats get more expensive, people start eating the lower quality meats. When I say meats, I'm broad. I could be including the poultry, which are the birds, turkey, chicken, as well as the swine, aka pig, pork. Remember, when someone says pork, ham is pork, bacon is pork. Yeah, I've been to restaurants in the United States, many different states, and I don't eat that product, but it's interesting. A lot of people don't realize bacon and ham are pork, part of the pig. Yep. We don't know what we don't know. So here, looking at live cattle on the monthly, there's the all-time high all the way back then, 2014. We are not there now. Nope. But for the monthly, we are selling off. What brings this price higher? Remember, if the feed that goes into it, which a lot of agricultural communities or livestock communities using corn, if that goes higher, this goes higher. Yep. As well as the transportation costs, getting that corn feed to them and transporting the animals. So again, a lot of correlation with, if you start seeing crude oil go higher, corn go higher, you might see these commodities of the agricultural or live cattle going higher. Looking here at feeder cattle, yep, they take cattle and feed it to other animals. Yep. So for the month, inside candle. Let's go to the higher time frame. There we go, the monthly. All-time high was back there, 2013. And now we're in a decline. Inside candle. We'll be interested if it closes like this potential. We got huge tails on the bottom, tails on the bottom, tails on the bottom, showing its demands on buyers. So maybe this would become a reversal. And lean hog. That's a big food staple. Where? In Asia and Central and South America. for the current week, lower low, lower high, green, holding that $100 level. Remember several years ago in China, they had to slaughter a lot of pigs because of the some kind of disease. So they started to receive, I think, pigs from other countries. And those other countries were, again, they had to convert one currency to theirs. So here's the high of lean hog all the way back there in 2014. And we're just shy of the high of this year, but still below the range of last year. Yep. And also these commodities. Let's give you an example. Pork. In certain countries, when their holidays start coming around, the farmers get more money for selling their product and the retail sells it for more. Same in the United States. Certain holidays, when there's more demand for products, go higher. So if you're in the industry there, or just looking to trade, you can see that too, correlations. Okay, I'll end it here. If you like what I'm sharing, how about hit that like button below? Okay.